Welcome back to part 2 of my series on how I prep to feed over 1,000 people. Now, in part 1, we did the cobblers, the banana pudding, got all of that prepped and ready. Plus, I did a lot of other things that I did not have time to film. I'll be honest, there's so much stuff to do. I didn't have time to film every bit of it. I didn't even have time to take pictures of every bit of it. But I want to share with you guys what I was able to film. Now, in the previous video, I showed you where I made this maple pecan cheesecake coffee cake. So this is the next day. The cake is chilled. It's kind of marinated overnight. So now I'm making the maple glaze, which is just very simple. It's butter, some cornstarch, and maple syrup. That's all. You can add a splash of vanilla if you like. And you cook this over the stove until it starts to boil and it'll turn slightly opaque. And then you take it off the heat and you whisk it until it starts to thicken. Now, you don't add a lot of cornstarch. It's just there to give it a little bit of body. And it also helps it to set to a hard finish. But as you can see, this is after a couple minutes of whisking. It's now thickened and it looks more like a butterscotch sauce. So just pour that into a piping bag and I just pipe that over the cake. Now, as I said in my previous video, this is rich and will be cut into small pieces. So you don't need a lot of it. I don't think you could eat a lot of it because it is cheesecake baked in a cake with crumble on top and all of those nuts and glaze. So it's a little rich, but I mean, this is a special event. So of course you need special desserts to go along with special events. Now, to tell you a tiny bit about the event is held in the town of Hillsville, Virginia. It's hosted by the VFW. It's on Labor Day. Every Labor Day they have this event. I have been going to this event as a vendor since 2016. I have seen rain. I have seen sun. I have seen extremely cold temperatures. And I've also seen some very hot temperatures. This year, there was no rain. Thank the Lord there was no rain. But it was cold in the morning. It was like 40 degrees in the morning. And you get there very early because you have to get up and get set up very early. Now, it's absolutely a must that the baker brings fried pies. These are sweet potato. I did sweet potato and apple. Apple is the most popular. Sweet potato is my personal favorite. I have done other types. I've done cherry, I've done peach. But due to the volume of stuff that you have to do, and each one of these pies, by the way, is made individually, one at a time, by hand. I've seen machines, but they are miserable. The only way to do this is the way our grandmothers taught us, by hand. Now, I would be remiss if I did not give honor to whom honor is due. The person who taught me how to make fried apple pies is Miss Claire Reynolds. She has since passed on, but she is the sweetest lady. She lived to a great age of over 100. And years ago, she taught me how to make fried apple pies because the way I was doing them was not right and it wasn't working. And she just looked at me like, no. She's like, honey, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. Now, Miss Claire Reynolds in her years have made... Oh my goodness. If I think I'm doing anything by, feeding 1,000, and no. She has totally swamped me because that's something she did for the fire department. And that was what she did. Every fall they would have an event. So thank the Lord for Miss Claire Reynolds passing on her knowledge to me. And I can share a tiny bit of it with you guys because you don't know how to do anything until there's somebody there to teach you how to do it, especially if somebody can teach you how to do it properly. Now, after my pies have set, they are frozen, by the way. And the way I make them is I make them, then I freeze them. It's a lot easier to do it that way. If you do it any other way, if you're doing it this volume, you're just going to have a nightmare. So freeze them. And when you're ready to fry them, you obviously need to thaw them out. So that's what I'm doing now while the pies are thawing. I'm just having my first cup of coffee. I say first cup because normally I have my coffee first, then I get to work. But there were so many pies that need to go ahead and begin the thawing that coffee had to wait. So this is how I fry my pies, whether I'm doing 10 pies or 10,000 pies. This is how I do it. My method does not change. This is a black semi-cast iron skillet. It's not full cast iron. This is how I fry them. I fry up to 4 at a time. Now, if you notice, I'm just moving them along a little bit. I don't drop them right in. This is the first pies that go into the hot oil. If you just drop them in there, they will sink to the bottom and they will stick. So kind of move them and glide them into the pan. The ideal temperature for frying fried apple, sweet potato, whatever kind of pies you're doing, even meat pies, by the way. The method is the same, just the filling is slightly different. The temperature must be between 365 degrees, 368 degrees, no less than 358 degrees. Anything less than that, your pies just literally sop up oil. Anything more than that, when you run over into the 375, your pies will start to brown too quickly and they can slightly burn before they're done all the way through. So I have a thermometer. Aim for at least 365 degrees, really. And if you can keep it that way, you won't have greasy pies. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean about greasy pies. When I first started doing these, I was using so much oil because I was frying so many pies and I thought, I'm just going to use a lot of oil. But the more you do, as they say, practice makes perfect. The more you do frying things, especially, a lot of people are afraid to fry things. That's why I suggest you use a thermometer, because you really don't know what you're doing, what the oil is doing, unless it tells you. And the only way it'll tell you, and accuracy, is by using a thermometer. So by all means, if you are able, use a thermometer. Now, once my oil has kind of got itself together, I start doing 4 pies at a time. And, oh, wow, thank you, Jesus. Look at these beautiful pies. They are so crispy. The interesting thing of frying them this way is they stay crispy for a good while, actually. I've had people tell me they put them in the refrigerator and took them out and they were like, and they were still a little crispy. And I'm like, okay, a couple of days later, they're still crispy, but they get so pretty and golden. And if you make the dough properly and you handle the pies properly, they will fry up properly. And there's no shame if you have, mismatched pies or whatever. I make each pie by hand individually, so therefore each one comes out to an exact shape because that's important for me, consistency. And also too, you want pretty pies. you want pretty pies, and you want pies that fry up a beautiful golden color. Hence the cast iron skillet, and I'm deep frying. If you shallow pan fry, your pies will get too dark on the bottom. So they need to float. Now, to answer your next question, and I know you're going to ask, why don't you use a deep fryer thing? Like they have tabletop ones. This is what I mean by, you see how they're not greasy? I've been frying a lot of pies at this point, and you can see how there's not a lot of oil in my paper towels. My pan that it's not greasy, it's not full of oil. That's very important. That's how you know you're frying at a right temperature and you're not your pies are not cooking too slow. So here's a glimpse of one shelf of pies, and I spent the entire day pretty much frying and wrapping pies. As each pie has to be made individually one by one, they also need to be fried and wrapped individually one by one. So one shot is of sweet potatoes. The next shot is of apples. But as I say, the filling really, that's traditional, especially in our area. Now, time for a tiny break because the pies do need to cool in between wrapping. I had a cup of tea, my favorite, chamomile, honey, and black tea. I love black tea with a nice splash of milk. I like Earl Grey tea. Lady Grey tea is very good if I can find it. Lady Grey is kind of hard to find, but Earl Grey is pretty good. Lady Grey has flower petals in it, and that's the difference. And being a younger, I absolutely add milk to my tea. Don't y'all add milk to your tea? It's a younger thing, so yeah. So, as I say, I spent the whole day frying pies, wrapping pies, and at first, when I first started doing this event, it was a little overwhelming because of just the sheer volume of pies that must be done. I was a little overwhelmed. But this year is my 10th year, and, thank the Lord, I am no expert at anything. I'll never say I'm an expert, but the more you do, the more you can do, So the pies have cooled. This is later on in the day. It's time to start the wrapping process. Now, I am frying pies while I am wrapping pies. That is because space, I don't have space for, just pies and pies. It's all of them rack up like that. So I have to wrap as I fry in order to have enough space. And also it keeps the kitchen from just getting a little too chaotic. So I'm wrapping while I'm frying. And if you can get a buddy to help you do all of this, so much the better. And all hats off to you if you can. But it's just me. And so, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. But I make sure to drink plenty of fluids. I'm not a fan of eating while I'm working. I just, for some reason, that kind of creeps me out of eating while working. So I don't eat while I'm working. But boy, do I be hungry when I'm done. Now, this is a shot of some of the wrapped pies. And it's just pies after pies after pies after pies. But once I'm finished doing all of this, you look forward to all those smiles and the people that are like, they're just like grandmas. And there are people who tell me they're just like grandmas. I've even had a few people tell me, you know what, these are actually better than my grandmas. And I'm like, okay. But I do come from a family of women who makes these. My aunties always made sweet potato, though. I'm the only one in the family that makes apple or any other kind other than sweet potato, because sweet potato is traditional in our family. And my aunties did not deep fry them. They shallow pan fried them in cast iron skillets, which, as I say, it's fine. But they will have more browning because they're laying right directly on a cast iron skillet. If you have one of those tabletop fryers, deep fryers, you want to use it, go right on ahead. Now, fast forward to the morning of the event. I am sorry I didn't get the opportunity to film the packing, the getting there, all of that. But we are at the event now, and I'm just getting my steam tables set up. These steam tables are a dream. They're made for catering, and I'm just firing up my Sterinos. You have to be a little careful because your cobbler kind of can start to cook. I was seeing steam rising out of the cobbler. However, people do love a bowl of warm cobbler. There is a truck that makes ice cream on location. Right. There's Mr. Stewart. Hi, Mr. Stewart. That entire family, the Stewart family, are sweethearts. So I stepped away for just a quick minute to take a shot of my table. And this is about all that I managed to film for the most part, because, as I say, I do all the filming and the selling and the fixing and all of that. So I'm sorry, I just can't quite possibly film every bit of it. But as you can see, I've already scooped into my cobbler. That is the blackberry cobbler and the cherry berry cobbler. Now, as you can see, as the day goes on, the weather changes. We are high up in the mountains at this location, whereas where we live is at the foot of the mountains. But you climb up in elevation and you go up. And so the weather changes. That is my boba. That boba food truck is called My Boba. She does a wonderful job. I love her bobas. I get one every year. And I like it because I don't like very sweet boba teas, and she will make mine have sweet. Now, there is the ice cream truck. And they have a huge churn that cranks. It makes a loud clanging noise, but it makes a delicious ice cream, and people love to come over, get a scoop of cobbler. They walk down to him and they get him to put a scoop of ice cream on top. You really cannot ask for better. It's funny. When nobody is around, that's when I get to do my filming because, of course, when customers are there, I can't film. But when there are no customers, I get to do a little filming. Now, in a minute, I'm going to let the customers speak for themselves. We met some lovely people from Lexington, North Carolina. We met people from, they are American, but they live for a long time in Europe. And we're going to hear from some dear friends, so let's listen.
Hi!
You want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Brooke from Lexington, North Carolina.
Alyssa, Lexington, North Carolina.
Beverly from Lexington, North Carolina.
And Tanya from Lexington, North Carolina.
And Jimmy! Come on over, Jimmy. Jimmy, we've got to get you in the shot. Jimmy's a sweetheart.
Hello, Facebook. Sarah makes everything so delicious. You must try it all. It's terrific. Thank you, Beth.
Picture time.
Did you want? Would you like to have a cheeky treat?
Look at them. Oh, wow. You all have them. Now, what are their names?
Buttercup, honeysuckle, and lavender.
Oh, that
Flowers.
is beautiful. I like it. Hi, Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Hi, honey. And hi, honeysuckle. And hi, lavender.
She's got a lick bowl. You want a
Uh-oh,
lick
they're all-
bowl?
Look at those faces.
Y'all like lick bowl, don't you? Yeah,
He's looking like,
that's my favorite.
Those little dogs are so sweet, and it was wonderful to see Bess and all those friends from Lexington, North Carolina. Now, the wind picked up, so I did add some weights to my tent because they can blow away. So, actually, my dad went over and got me a boba tea, and it was delicious. I enjoyed it. So, the day is done. And this is actually day 2. So it's time to pack up and head home. Before we went home, I actually did manage to step out and just walk around. I didn't buy much. I never really have time to buy much. But I did step out for a little bit and take a few pictures and just to see what people had. And the traffic to get out of here it's organized chaos. Because there are no traffic guards or anything, but everybody is very courteous because everybody understands it's very packed and everybody wants to go. So it's not a problem. There is no rudeness or honking horns or any of those things. But it is time to head back down the mountain and go home. I was good and tired because at this point I had been up working for 24 hours straight with not a single bit of shut-eye, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed seeing everybody, and I do want to say thank the Lord for the ability to be able to do things like this, because you walk by faith and not by sight, because you have no idea what the weather is going to be like, the crowds are going to be like. So you prepare everything in the hope that people will come. And thank the Lord they did come. Now, before we went home, we did stop by our favorite general store that I love to run in and grab some vegetables and a few little treats before we head back home. It's an old country general store. And we wind our way back down the mountain towards the house, and good Lord willing, we will wind our way back up the mountain for the same event again next year. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And the good Lord willing, I will see you guys on another adventure somewhere. Baker Girl is always popping up at some event, some local event, somewhere. So the good Lord willing, I'll see y'all in another video. In the meantime, I'm just taking you on a tiny little tour of heading back down the mountain. And this is a view of Lover's Leap. It is a beautiful view looking out across the valleys of the mountains of Southwest Virginia. So with that, I will say, take care, y'all. And the good Lord willing, I'll see you in another video. Bye, y'all.